Holy Vachanamrut, a collection of selected Vachanamrut. Gadhada 1st, 51st. Swaminarayan Hare. In Samvant 1876, Mahavad 2nd, during the night, Swami Sri Sahajanandji Maharaj was sitting on a large decorated cot in the veranda of the west-facing rooms in front of the temple of Sri Vasudev Narayan at the courtyard of Dada Khachar in Gadhada. He was completely dressed in white trouser and a white tunic. A white turban was tied on his head. Before him, an assembly of munis and devotees from different regions were gathered. Then Shreeji Maharaj said, "Let someone ask a question." So Purnanand Swami asked, "The 10 indriyas are of rajas attributes. The 4 antakarans are of sattva attributes. Therefore, these indriyas and antakaran are derived from Maya. However, God is beyond Maya. So how can one determine firm faith in God through such mundane antakarans? How can God be seen through mundane indriyas such as the eyes?" Then Shreeji Maharaj said, "Mundane objects are perceived through mundane mediums. Therefore, if God can be realized through such mundane indriyas and antakarans, it implies that even God is mundane. Is that your question?" Then Purnanand Swami and all the other munis said, "That is indeed our question. O Maharaj, you have clarified it." Shreeji Maharaj said, "The answer to that question is as follows. The earth covers a span of 50 koti yojans. On this earth, there exists innumerable different objects. The earth is in its elementary form, remains within all these objects, and also exists in a discrete form. Looking from the perspective of earth, it appears that earth exists in the form of all these objects, and nothing exists except earth. That earth is produced from one particle of water. This water exists below, beside, and above the earth. Water even permeates throughout the earth. Therefore, looking from the perspective of water, there is no earth, only water exists. This water was produced from one part of the light. When looking from the perspective of light, there is no water, only light exists. This light has been produced from one particle of air. From the perspective of air, there is no light, only air exists. This air has been produced from a small part of space. Therefore, if we look from the perspective of space, the 4 basic elements such as the air and all that has been produced from them, such as the body and the universe, are not seen. Only space is seen everywhere. Even space has been created from one part of the tamas ahankar. The tamas ahankar, rajas ahankar, sattvic ahankar, the elements, indriyas, antakarans, and all deities are created from one part of Mahatattva. Therefore, if we look from the perspective of Mahatattva, these 3 types of ahankar, the elements, indriyas, antakarans, and all deities do not exist, but only Mahatattva exists. This Mahatattva has been created from one part of Prakriti. Therefore, from the perspective of Prakriti, there is no Mahatattva, only Prakriti exists. At the time of desolation, Prakriti merges into one part of Purush and emerges out again from a part of Purush at the time of creation. Therefore, from the perspective of Purush, there is no Prakriti, only Purush exists. There are infinite many such Purushas who merge into and then emerge from one part of Akshar, which is the abode of Purushottam. Therefore, from the viewpoint of Akshar, none of them exists, only Akshar exists. Beyond Akshar is Purushottam Bhagwan, who is greater than Akshar. He is the creator, sustainer, and destroyer of all. He is the cause of all causes. That cause always pervades through whatever it creates, and simultaneously remains separate from its creation. Therefore, if we look from the perspective of the cause of all cause, Purushottam Bhagwan, besides the Purushottam Bhagwan, nothing exists. Such a God graciously bestows his Pratyaksh Darshan to all the human beings on the earth for the salvation of souls. At that time, when the soul associates with Sant, he understands this greatness of Purushottam Bhagwan, and as a result, all his indriyas and antakarans become Purushottam Roop. Then it is through them he can determine firm faith for this God. Just as a diamond can only be cut by another diamond, but not by anything else. In such a way, one can determine firm faith through this God, and the darshan of God can only be done through God. It cannot be done through mundane indriyas and antakarans. After preaching this much, Shreeji Maharaj said, Jai Sachidanand to all, and returned to his residence. Iti Vachanamrutam, Gadhada, 1st, 51st.